we're here today talking with Counselor Laura Forseth, and to get some ideas about what life is like in this time of the COVID crisis, and how counselors might help people navigate through some of the challenges of this time. Laura, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and your practice?
Sure. So I mostly work with children and youth, and sometimes I work with parents as well, of course. Normally, I would see my clients in office. They'd come in and we'd do some art or some play together, or just simply have a conversation. But currently, I've moved my practice online or through phone calls.
And are you still working with youth and kids mostly, or a range of folks? Or
Mostly youth now, and parents. So parents looking for some guidance around how to handle having kids home all the time, how to handle their own stress. I haven't been seeing as many kids just because I think parents think it might be more challenging to do video and phone sessions with children. So yeah, it's kind of morphed into more older kids, youth, and parenting help.
Okay, great. Listening to your clients, what are people experiencing right now during the COVID-19 crisis?
I think most people are just experiencing the unknown. So trying to figure out how to navigate this because it's so new to everyone. No one's done this before. So what are we doing? How do we help each other within our home when everyone's experiencing so much stress, right? Kids are wondering, why can't I see my friends? When am I going back to school? Yeah, that kind of thing.
A lot of questions, but not a lot of answers right now.
Not a lot of answers, no. So yeah, just trying to navigate the unknown.
And how are people reacting to that unknown? Is that experience like? What are their symptoms? What's their day like? What's facing so much unknown?
What I'm seeing mostly is kind of anger and irritability. So yeah, just tension in the household, people kind of snapping at each other, not really knowing how to fill their time. Yeah, a lot of irritability.
And do you think people are concerned about their mental health?
I don't know if they'd frame it that way per se. I don't know if people are outwardly saying, I'm a little bit worried about my mental health, but I think people are just worried about their overall coping. How am I going to get through this maybe, or what's this going to look like on the other side, or yeah, how to get through the day-to-day for sure. How do I keep my kids happy? How do I keep my kids safe? How do I stimulate them? How do I get myself, occupied enough during the day when I'm stuck at home so much, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I wonder how much they're reaching out for help. I mean, when, especially for those folks who've lost their jobs, lost income, and everything's really topsy-turvy. Are they even asking for the help, or is it?
No. So my experience right now is that kind of referrals are down. People are not reaching out for help currently as much as they were before. And yeah, I chalk that up to people are in kind of survival mode. Like, where are my finances coming from? How do I apply for these benefits? What are the benefits that are available? How do I homeschool my children? How do I do Easter without family being around? How do I give my kids a happy holiday in this way? Yeah, so people are just in survival mode right now. I think it's a transition kind of period, and hopefully as things settle out, people will come around to reaching out again.
What's some of the first things you would do to help that person begin to navigate?
Yeah, the kind of the initial phone call or conversation is one of my favorites because it's just about getting to know each other. So, we start with really basic things like, what is your day looking like right now? Who's at home with you? Are you still working? Have your finances been turned upside down? Just really trying to figure out where people are coming from, their unique situation, and then getting to know me too. What is my style? Who am I? What does my voice sound like? What do I look like on video? All those things that create comfort for a person in a relationship are, I think, hugely important in the counseling relationship as well.
Is happiness a realistic goal now? Is peace of mind a realistic goal?
Ooh, happiness. I think that depends on how you define happiness. I think you can have peace of mind moment to moment in your day. So some moments are going to look kind of chaotic and turbulent and panicked. And then other moments are going to feel blissful and joyful and wonderful. So happiness for me is kind of moment to moment. There's no overarching goal about happiness right now. It's just about togetherness as much as I can be together, you know, and yeah, finding those little ways to share that viewpoint with people.
So maybe in survival mode, a huge, capital H happy is not as practical as seeking moments of happiness.
Moments of happiness. Yep. Enjoying that walk down the road and seeing the new spring flowers, or, watching your kiddo do their Easter egg hunt
Mm-hmm.
from your home, or, just moment to moment little bits.
Yeah. There's a really interesting article on Medium yesterday. Author Julio Gambudo described this pandemic as having a silver lining. Of course, not the deaths or the virus itself,
Right.
but what he calls the great pause in our busy, hustle bustle lives. And he calls this a once in a lifetime opportunity to rethink how you live and create a happier, healthier, and lower stress life, and to not just get back on the treadmill when things get back to normal, but really use it as a pause to reflect.
I think it's a beautiful thing. Personally speaking, today I was thinking, prior to this, I had a lot of thoughts of kind of minute changes that I wanted to make in my life about changing our routine, my family's routine. But the hustle and bustle, the go, go, go was kind of preventing me from taking the steps that I wanted to take. And then boom, here I am. And I'm kind of forced to slow down. And it's just, I'm extremely grateful for that great pause and having the time to reflect on, what do I want this to look like afterwards? What do I want this to look like right now? How do I want to live my life? We're also experiencing the stress. So it adds, I think, to our level of empathy for other people. So some people might wonder, well, if you guys are so stressed out as well, how could you be of help to me? Like, we're all in this together. No one has experienced this, so why would you be able to help me any different than maybe a family member? But I think it's important to realize that counselors are external to your family, and we don't have that emotional connection to you like your family members have. So we're able to see things and help in a way that your family just can't do right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bigger load than normal for sure.
Yeah.
And professional can take that load on their shoulders. They're trained and they know how to do it.
I have heard from some healthcare workers, and yes, I think they are definitely. I mean, they're in it every day in a different way than we are. They're having to face risks to their own health, and then the health of their family members that they're coming home to. And for sure, their stress levels are high. Trying to access proper equipment, trying to access mental health support. It's big time stress right now.
Yeah, especially now is not just a nice to have. We need it. Society needs it. People need it.
That's right. Yeah. And for those first responders to be able to come home to their families, right, and be in a decent headspace and able to interact with their kids if they can, in a healthy way. It's good modeling too for the rest of the family. Like, hey, look what I did today. I did this hard job. It was scary, and here I am reaching out for help. And you guys can reach out for help as well.
That's excellent. We can by taking care of themselves, we can all be better models for health for our children, our family members.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I see, and my experience is that with trauma and with high stress loads, people's brains start to get a bit thick. They don't work so well.
Mm-hmm.
When we're in survival mode, our brains really change. What do you think about that idea?
I'm laughing because I've noticed that my brain's gotten a little thick sometimes. So it makes sense, right? Again, we're kind of operating from a different part of our brain, right? We're in survival mode. We're downstairs in our downstairs survival kind of animalistic brain. We're just trying to get through the day to day. So our higher cognitive functions kind of go offline, and it's harder to access the ability to organize and to have rational thought, for sure. Yeah, makes complete sense.
Yeah, it's tougher to think in crisis, isn't it? It's just overloaded, and I can feel my thoughts getting pushed through like molasses sometimes.
Yeah,
it really is extra work.
Yeah, I talk to people that say, well, I should know this stuff. I know, maybe I'm an educational assistant and I work with kids all the time and I understand behavior, but I just can't wrap my head around, how to get through the day with my toddler, with my child. I just,
Mhm.
all my skills and my coping are gone. It's like, that makes sense. There's that thick brain that you're talking about. It's just, it's offline. So
Yeah.
talking to a counselor can help bring those skills back online so that you can have kind of better days
Yeah.
at home. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting, because I think I see myself thinking better for other people than thinking for myself right now.
Yes. Bingo. Yep, for
It's
sure.
easier to be a brain for somebody else in
Yep.
stress
Yep.
than when you're undergoing, than to think for yourself in your own stress. And right now, we when things are in such upheaval and there's so much change, we really need our brains. We need to be able to plan and predict as much as we can, and consider different options, and come up with creative ways for schedules, for making money, for
Yeah.
all sorts of things.
Oh yeah, I've had the same experience as you. I wake up some days and it's like, oh, I can't think of what to do with my kiddo.
Mhm.
But then I hop on a phone call with a client and I've got kind of all these great suggestions as creativity. And through that conversation, um, what my brain comes more online for my own family as well. So yeah, it's a win-win, really.
Well, thanks very much. I really appreciate your time and your thoughts. Those are really, really great thoughts. And
Awesome.
have a good day.
You do.
Bye.
Bye.